OK, yes, thank you very much, Polly. Now, a GB News Investigates exclusive last month revealed that a former Rotherham councillor implicated in the town's failures over its grooming gang scandal had shockingly been hired by the NHS as, cop a load of this, a diversity manager. Yes, GB News Investigates reporter Charlie Peters joins me now with an update on that story. Go on.
So, it's under review. The NHS has finally announced that they've launched an independent review into the hiring of Mr Hussain after GB News Investigates raised this issue with them last month. Now, to remind the viewers of the origin of the story here, Morif Hussain was a councillor in Rotherham from the early noughties up to 2015 when he resigned in disgrace from the Cabinet after a report into the council found that it was in denial over the extent of the town's grooming gangs scandal. We knew at the time that some 1,400 girls had been abused from 1997 to 2013, a period when Morif Hussain was in charge. In fact, he was the Community Cohesion Minister for much of that time, and the Casey report into the council found that he was covering up the issue. It alleged that he had pushed back and suppressed discussion of the gangs, and he even, it was said, made a false allegation of racism against a fellow Labour councillor in order to suppress discussion. So he resigned in disgrace. He even denied the report as he was resigning. Several years passed, and in 2020 he snuck back into the public sector, working for the NHS, for a body called Health Education England, as the West Midlands Diversity and Inclusion Participation Manager. Equality and diversity job, which is an extraordinary title to have, considering his past involvement in suppressing discussion.
Anyway, really, but yes, especially.
Especially because he had been in charge of, as one survivor told me, prioritising, in their view, prioritising community cohesion over the security and the sanctity of the girls in that town. Not only was he given that West Midlands role, but 2 years later, last year, he was promoted to become the national lead for Health Education England in this inclusion and diversity role. Well, GB News Investigates ran the story last month, and finally, a month later, the NHS have announced that they've put him under review and they're investigating the cause. They won't say how long this investigation is going to take. They're not saying who's running it, and they haven't even told us if Mr Hussain has been suspended while it's conducted. But I can't imagine he's doing a lot of diversity and inclusion work right now while the spotlight is on him.
No, well, you'd probably hope not, really, I think, in results to this. I mean, so essentially, just in a nutshell, really, you know, this particular chap managed to, there was clearly no background check done? I mean, there must have been some kind of background check done and nothing flagged up.
Well, I mean, if you search the name, there is so much there. In fact, but the thing is, he went through a desperate attempt to reinvent himself after the 2015 scandal. He actually started working as an anti-Islamophobia activist for a long time. And he even gave a talk to West Yorkshire Police some years back, advising them on Islamophobia, which means to have a remarkable situation where a man who suppressed discussion with the police in South Yorkshire during the grooming gang scandal was advising West Yorkshire Police on how to deal with racism. This is clearly, as many are saying, not the right link for somebody of his background to have taken. Now, after GB News ran the story last month, plenty of other people obviously complained to the NHS. Many of our viewers even submitted complaints. And the network of Sikh organisations also submitted a significant complaint. And its director, Lord Singh of Wimbledon, who's a significant Sikh figure in Britain, told GB News yesterday that he was appalled by the decision and hoped that the investigation ends with Mr Hussain being kicked out of the NHS. And
just to remind people as well who maybe didn't see it first time round, there is a film, really, that you've put together for us, haven't you? And people can watch that on YouTube and online?
Yeah, on the GB News app and on YouTube. It's called Grooming Gangs, Britain's Shame.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, thank you very, very much. Now, I do have a statement here. NHS England has released the following statement. As a result of the issues that have been raised, HEE has commissioned an independently led review to establish the circumstances and inform next steps. Until the review is complete, HEE is not in position to comment on individual matters. So there we go. Right, OK.